Welcome back to the weekly recap. I'm Matt Wacker. Who were the key players that influenced our local history? For Phelps County, landowner Edmund Ward Bishop played a major role. A celebration of Bishop's birthday took place July 19th at the old courthouse in Rolla. Leanne Minting took a tour with Mark Stouter to find out more about the faces and places of Phelps County past.
The courthouse is located here because of Edmund Ward Bishop, who was associated with the company that was building the railroad. And he saw the main chance when the railroad got to this area. He left the railroad and took as his severance pay part of the land grant that the railroad had been given. Well, when Phelps County was organized, in which he was played an active role, the new county was one of the last 10 counties in Missouri to be organized, 1857. So we have a new county, and Edmund Ward Bishop owned all this land. He donated the land that this courthouse sits on, but he owned all the land around it. The first county court met in Dillon, which was between Rolla and present-day St. James, and they thought that they were going to be the county seat. But Edmund Ward Bishop managed, finagled, arranged, got the non-existent town of Rolla named as the county seat. This is the circuit courtroom in the old courthouse. It started being used about 1866. The courthouse wasn't finished until after the Civil War. And it was used right until 1994 when they moved into the new courthouse. The building was under construction when the Civil War broke out and was used after the Battle of Wilson's Creek in August 1861. It was used as a hospital. But after that, the Army built its own facilities, and this building, unfinished, was used as a warehouse. After the war, the Army moved out, and the county finally moved back and finished it. So in 1866, they started using it as the courthouse. This is the original Phelps County Jail, and it was built in 1860, and it was actually completed before the courthouse was completed, which probably says something about the people that lived here at the time, that they needed a jail before they needed a courthouse. But they actually used this until 1912. We're going to visit the Dillon Log House, which was the actual site of the first meeting of the Phelps County Court in 1857. But the house wasn't here. It was in Dillon, between what's now Rolla and St. James. The house was moved here in the 1960s. And we have what might be the original key here.
After a week of X's and O's at the high school, seniors on the Rolla Bulldogs football team made a trip to Macon and the Missouri National Guard training site. Leadership was the purpose of this two-day retreat, as players learned everything from reading maps to survival training on day one, then got a chance to use those skills on day two. Captains were chosen by Sergeant Brian Beard for a paintball match where the primary objective was supporting beleaguered teammates. Rolla lost several key players from their district championship team, and head coach John Franks thought this was an extremely positive experience for his team. The Missouri State Highway Patrol reports 2 people are dead and another is injured after a July 18th crash on Highway 5 in Camden County. One of the deceased is 22-year-old Cassandra Reed of Lebanon. Troopers say Reed crossed the center line and hit a car sporting Michigan plates. She was not wearing a seatbelt. A celebration of life has been scheduled for July 20th at 7 p.m. at the Calvary Baptist Church in Lebanon. Goebel's Collision of West Plains recently held a free training course for first responders. Using cutting-edge technology, Get it? Cutting edge. During a hands-on demonstration, first responders were trained in emergency extrication with the jaws of life and other fireman tools. Instructors covered how to safely perform this procedure on new metals, electronic, hybrid, and alternative fuel vehicles. The salvaged vehicles used were donated by State Farm, and the instructor was provided by Hearst Rescue Equipment. A 57-year-old West Plains woman has been charged with felony assault after allegedly grabbing her ex-boyfriend by the neck, throwing him to the ground, and punching him in the face. Police were dispatched to the Ridgecrest Hotel and spoke to the victim, who said Castle came to his room asking for money. He gave her some, but apparently not enough. Castle has been issued a summons. A West Plains man has been charged with 3 felonies after allegedly striking another man at his home with a baseball bat. 47-year-old Roland Bratcher arrived at the victim's home and began banging on the door, demanding his girlfriend come out. When the door was opened, Bratcher promptly knocked the victim on the noggin, causing him to fall and break his hip. It is unknown if the girlfriend was actually there. Mid to late July marks the beginning of fair season. The 70th annual Bell Fair takes place July 18th through the 21st. A festive collection of activities including a greased pig contest, a derby competition, Kingsford barbecue cook-off, and carnival rides. Leanne was there on opening night and got a glimpse of the Dr. Seuss-themed parade and more.
My name is Joe Turnbow. I'm the Bell City Marshal here in town. This is the 70th year anniversary fair. It's been a long tradition. Got a lot of family-orientated things going on here. It's always a big thing every year. And there'll be everybody coming from all around. Friday and Saturday night will be big. We also have the parade. The kids absolutely love it.
Started in 51, 49 the fair started. And I was at the first one, and I've been to every parade since.
I think the reason why this has worked so well for 70 years is we're centrally located. There's tractor pulls, there's mud runs, there's a derby, rides for all the kids. They have nice bands that come on the weekends.
And I was president for quite a number of years on the fair board for 60 about 60 years. Kind of retired from it the last 4 or 5 years. Sit back and enjoy it.
And everybody just comes out to participate in it. We've been very lucky, very fortunate. Every year, it just, it's still here after 70 years. It's great.
That's all for now. Thanks for watching the weekly recap. I'll see you next time. The weekly recap is brought to you by Bryce Chopper, cooking from scratch, the UPS store of Rolla, Bayard Dodge in West Plains, and the Ozarks Medical Center.
Are you experiencing an increase in the number of local calls to your home and/or cell phone? You're not alone. This phenomenon is actually called neighbor spoofing, and it's the latest caller ID spoof strategy that's being used by phone scam artists in an attempt to get people to answer the phone. Scammers are trying to get you to pick up the phone, so they may pretend to be a loved family member, friend, or even your own phone number calling you. Now, sometimes it's a random phone number with the same area code in the first 3 digits as your own phone number. Answering one of these caller ID spoofs calls will indicate to the robo-caller that you have an active phone line, so don't do that. Active phone lines are very valuable to these phone scammers, and they could potentially put you on the sucker list, which is potentially opening up your phone line to more scam calls. Here's a few BV tips to protect yourself. Avoid answering phone numbers or phone calls from numbers that you don't know. If your phone number is used in a caller ID spoof call, you may receive calls and messages from people asking whether you called them in the first place or why you called them. Now, this can lead to a lot of confusion between both friends, but knowing that your own number is actually being used by scammers may help the situation. Also, be aware that phone numbers of local businesses, including the doctor's office and maybe even your insurance agent, are being used. So always hang up and dial the known phone number to contact to verify the communication, especially if personal or financial information is being requested. There are a lot of call blocking apps that may help decrease the amount of scam calls that you're getting. Now, you can include these for free for many times in your mobile provider. Now, also, you can make sure that your call is on the do not call list. Now, sometimes these scammers who are, out of the nation, they won't respect that list, but people here in the United States will.